The WNBA thought they had Caitlin Clark figured out, a once-you-never-generation scorer, a ratings goldmine, the perfect poster child to finally push women's basketball into the mainstream. But what they didn't expect was her agent, because behind the scenes, a storm is brewing, and Caitlin Clark's team is using the league's own new rules, the fresh, shiny CBA, to force a move so massive and so disruptive, it could change everything we know about the WNBA. From charter flights to marketing rights to potentially forcing her way out of Indiana altogether. This isn't just about a player trying to win. This is about rewriting the playbook on power, control, and what it means to be the face of a league. And the craziest part is they might actually pull it off. Caitlin Clark didn't just enter the WNBA. She exploded into it. Before she even put on an Indiana Fever jersey, she had already sold more merch than most veterans have in their entire careers. Her final season at Iowa shattered every record the sport had ever seen. From packed arenas to television ratings that crushed previous women's basketball viewership numbers, suddenly the sport wasn't just a niche passion for a loyal fan base. It was prime A-time television. ESPN couldn't stop replaying her logo threes, social media worshipped her every move. She wasn't just a basketball player anymore. She was a cultural event. The kind of athlete who could shift the perception of an entire sport overnight. And the league knew it. That's why from day one she wasn't treated like a rookie, she was treated like a franchise. Sold-out arenas became the standard, front-row celebrity sightings were expected, sponsorship interest hit an all-of-time high, and all of it built one undeniable truth the WNBA needs. Caitlin Clark, far more than Caitlin Clark needs the WNBA, and that's exactly the kind of leverage her agent knows how to weaponize. Meet Lindsay Kagawa-Colas, the mastermind behind Caitlin Clark's off-court power. She's not just an agent. She's the head of the women's division at Wasserman, one of the most influential sports agencies in the world. She's represented icons like Sue Bird and Diana Taurasi. But Clark isn't just another client to her. She's the crown jewel, the once-in lifetime star you build an entire strategy around. Colas has a history of pushing the sports world to give female athletes not just equal pay, but equal power. She understands every corner of the game, the media game, the corporate game, and most importantly, the leverage game. She knows where the WNBA is vulnerable and how to turn those weak points into bargaining chips. With Clark, she's not just chasing endorsement deals, she's building legacy-level leverage. She's looking at every rule, every clause, every marketing opportunity in the CBA and asking how it can be bent, stretched, or reinterpreted to serve her client. She's not playing checkers, she's playing chess with the league itself, and so far she's making all the right moves. The 2020 WNBA collective bargaining agreement was supposed to be a landmark moment for progress. It promised better pay, better travel, better resources, and a league ready to evolve. But hidden inside its shiny language were loopholes and mechanisms that a smart agent like Colas could flip into weapons. The marketing clause lets players earn big off-court income through league-sponsored deals. But what happens when a player like Clark brings in more eyeballs than the league itself? That's when you start asking for control over your own marketing rights. Then there's the expanded player movement protections, built to protect athletes, but now ripe for reinterpretation, meaning they could be used to pressure for better contracts or even force a move to a bigger market. And then the long-debated travel issue: charter flights aren't guaranteed for everyone. But if Clark's camp frames them as essential for safety, security, and the league's image, they could push the WNBA into adopting them just to keep its biggest star happy. Suddenly, every clause meant to help the players becomes a tool to change the league's power structure, and Colas knows exactly how to pull those strings. Reports from league insiders are already swirling that Clark's camp is quietly pushing boundaries no rookie has ever tested before. One source claimed her agent has presented demands that go far beyond anything seen in WNBA history. We're talking partial control over media rights, guaranteed charter flights for select road games, influence over team marketing budgets, and even the power to veto certain promotional uses of her image. Some rumors go further, saying that if these terms aren't met, Clark might limit her media availability or even set the stage for a trade to a bigger market. Nothing is confirmed, but the buzz is getting louder. And in this kind of high-stakes game, perception is power. Every whisper of a demand sends the message that Clark is operating on a different level. Her camp knows exactly how to leak just enough information to keep pressure on the league, the sponsors, and the public while never putting anything officially on paper. It's a power play executed in silence, and it's making everyone in the WNBA nervous about what might come next. Behind the smiles and polite interviews, there's growing speculation that Caitlin Clark may not be planning to stay in Indiana forever. While she's been gracious about the fever in public, people close to the situation say her team has their eyes on bigger markets. Think New York, Liberty, Las Vegas Aces, Los Angeles Sparks, cities with massive media reach, luxury facilities, and brands ready to invest millions to have her as the face of their franchise. The new CBA makes this kind of move easier than ever if you know how to work it. Her agent could use opt-out clauses, revenue guarantees, and strategic sponsor pressure to create a market demand so strong that the league itself would have to help make it happen. This wouldn't be about drama or conflict. It would be about business leverage and market growth, the kind of calculated shift that could change the WNBA's balance of power overnight. And the most dangerous part for Indiana is that if Clark's camp decides to pull the trigger, they might be able to do it without ever looking like the bad guys. Not everyone in the WNBA is cheering for Clark's rise and the privileges that seem to follow her. Veteran players who spent years grinding for recognition are quietly frustrated. Some see the charter flights Indiana used as special treatment that undermines the fight for equal access. Angel Reese has thrown subtle shade about earning your spot, and even Candace Parker has reportedly warned about the dangers of letting one player dominate the spotlight too much. The mood is shifting behind closed doors. Whispers about a growing divide between the haves and have-nots are getting louder. Because if a rookie can dictate terms this early, what does that say to veterans who waited over a decade for a fraction of the same respect? Resentment isn't just bad for locker room chemistry, it's bad for the league's image. And if this tension keeps building, it could fracture the unity players have fought so hard to maintain. Clark's camp is walking a razor-thin line between revolutionizing the league and alienating the very athletes she's supposed to be inspiring. The WNBA is staring straight at a crossroads because for years it begged for mainstream attention, and now with Caitlin Clark it finally has it. But the price could be higher than anyone expected if her camp rewrites how rookies negotiate, how media deals are split, and how franchises cater to talent. The ripple effects will be permanent agents will follow her blueprint, future college stars will demand custom clauses, and teams will be forced to rethink payroll, marketing, and infrastructure. This is not just a shift, it's a complete restructuring of how power works in the league. But here's the twist. The more influence Clark gains, the more she becomes less of just a player and more of a brand, and the league might not be ready for that transformation. The press is already divided, some calling her camp bold and visionary, while others see favoritism and fear the league bending over backwards for one star. Sponsors are quietly picking sides. Nike wants in her front and center, but other league partners worry about alienating the rest of the player pool. The WNBA's leadership is trapped between over-supporting her and risking mutiny, or under-supporting her and risking losing the biggest draw in women's basketball history. And that's not just a player problem, that's a crisis at the very top. At first glance, it might look like just another contract negotiation, but what Caitlin Clark and her agent are doing is nothing less than rewriting the rules of the WNBA. They are taking the league's own system and using it against itself, exposing weak points and forcing it to evolve or risk collapse. The CBA was meant to protect players, but in the hands of someone like Lindsay Kagawa-Colas, it becomes a blueprint for domination. And while no one can say exactly how this ends, whether Clark stays in Indiana, moves to a bigger market, or builds her own off-court empire, one thing is already clear. This is no longer just about basketball. This is about who truly controls the future of the league. And for the first time in its history, that answer might not be the owners. It might not even be the commissioner. It could be a rookie and the powerhouse agent standing behind her. And if they pull this off, the WNBA will never be the same again. This isn't just the story of a rookie breaking records, it's the story of a player and an agent seizing the moment to shift the balance of power in an entire league. They've spotted every gap, every loophole, every opportunity in the WNBA's new system, and they're moving with precision and confidence. The league wanted Caitlin Clark to be its star, but in doing so, they may have given her the keys to the entire operation. And whether she stays in Indiana, jumps to a bigger market, or build something the league has never seen before. She's already proven that the future of women's basketball won't be decided solely in boardrooms or on the court. It will be shaped by those who know how to play the game behind the scenes. And right now, nobody is playing it better than Caitlin Clark and the team around her.